fourth episode of Hockey Talk with
Angel.
and the Ice Devil, live here from the beautiful Ice Den in Chandler, Arizona.
Yes.
Want to shout out first of all to the Ice Den people for allowing us to do such a short notice type thing, and some place we're actually going to be coming to a lot more frequently.
Yeah, in the restaurant here, 18 Degrees, and they have amazing food. So thank you very much for.
As you look around here, you can not only get a view of the rink, but you also get a view of the multiple TVs in the building. And with hockey going on right now, playoff hockey going on, there's lots of things that are going on.
Yeah, it's a great place to come hang out and watch some hockey on screen and on the ice.
So episode number 4
Yes.
tonight. We got a couple of great guests. We got tying this into Mother's Day a little bit.
Yes.
So we brought on what I call the First Lady of Hockey in Arizona, Lindsay Fry.
Yes.
Also brought her.
Her fabulous mother, Lynn Fry, hockey mom, of course.
So that's a couple of great segments for you tonight. Also, in addition, we're bringing on the owner of Behind the Mask, who's got a very special goalie demo day coming up, which we'll be out to next week.
Yes, excited for that. Yes.
So nice to have Randy Exel be on as a guest tonight as well.
Yep.
Do a little a story on something that you did today. So tell us what you did.
As far as my commercial that we shot today, well, we went and shot a commercial today, and you will be seeing that sometime on the show. You might even see a goalie in the commercial, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
See, we're going to tie it all into hockey and the goalie demo day, right?
That's right, exactly. Gotta love those goalies.
So that's what we got planned for you today. After the show tonight, we'll tell you a little bit about where we're going next week and what's coming up.
Sounds good.
So let's take a quick break right now. Come right back with our first guest of the night, Lindsay Fry.
Sounds good.
Hi, it's Angel, and I'm here today with Chris from Justice Private Investigations. Chris, tell us a little bit about your company and what you do. Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Chris Castorena. I'm the CEO of Justice Private Investigations, and I've been doing investigations for 17 years. And I really want to get back to community this year, so I want to do women's self-defense classes. So between now and a year, I really want to do about 4 or 5 seminars this year to teach women's self-defense class. So that's pretty much it, and hopefully you guys come down.
So, but tell us, Chris, what else do you do? What do you do in your business, your line of work?
Well, we handle a full range of investigations, from corporate investigations to domestic, teen spouses, stalking cases, child custody. We find phone taps, computer taps, tracking devices. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, wonderful. Well, if you need anything investigated, give JPI a call and we'll put the information at the end of the video. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're back with our first segment tonight of our 4th episode of Hockey Talk with
Angel.
and the Ice Devil. Got a special guest tonight. I call her the First Lady of Arizona Hockey. You gotta love that title, right?
I love it.
All right, I keep passing it on to you. It's our Olympic medalist, right? Harvard grad, right? Soon to be a ASU master's grad.
Hopefully.
And a triathlete.
Yep.
And the owner of your own business. What else can I say? It's Lindsay Fry. Welcome to the show, Lindsay.
Well, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
As always, we'd like to sit down and visit with you about a variety of topics, but let's start with, for people that don't know you, and I don't know who that would be, somebody under a rock maybe, but tell us a little bit about your career and how you got started playing hockey of all things.
Well, it actually was right here in this building. This is where my ice career started, here at Chandler, and I fell in love with the Mighty Ducks movies when I was probably 4 or 5 years old, and started playing roller hockey when I was 5, and then this place got built when I was 6, and I came out here, started at a public skate, and the rest was pretty much history. But I had to play with the boys growing up. We didn't have a ton of girls hockey when I was younger, and so played with the boys, loved it, didn't really notice a difference, loved being the girl who could check all of them, and then went on to play some girls hockey in Colorado in high school, and then ended up going to Harvard, and after that to the Olympics, so it's been a wild ride.
So you get to Harvard, and we've talked about this before, but for those that don't know, you got an opportunity to try out for the national team, right? Get into the national program, and then advanced in and got a chance to play in the Olympics, and didn't quite get to the point where you wanted to get to, but left with a medal, right?
That we did.
So tell us a little bit about that experience, what that was like playing for your country.
I mean, it's incredible. Anytime, whether it's Olympics, military, anything to be able to represent your country and wear those colors on your chest, it's an indescribable feeling. And I think especially for me, being from Arizona, being from a place where people don't really think ice hockey,
Right.
they especially don't think girls ice hockey, it was really cool. And I knew, regardless of the color of the medal, that I was going to have the opportunity to come back home and grow the game here. And that's what I've been doing, and I've been having an absolute blast doing it. So.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about hockey's changed since you were 6 years old to now, and how the game has grown here.
Yeah, I mean, we have more rinks than when I was growing
Few more.
up, so that's exciting. But no, I think, you know, for me especially, I focus primarily on the girls' side. But the fun thing for me is every single time I walk into a rink, I swear I see a new little girl playing hockey who I hadn't seen before. And it used to be when I was younger that if you were a girl playing hockey, it didn't matter if the other girls were 19 or 9. You knew every
Everybody.
girl who was playing, and that's not the case anymore. I mean, we have the Girls Appreciation Night at the Coyotes games, and I see new faces in the
sea of
crowd every
girls in the
time.
crowd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so exciting. So it is growing. I hope it continues to grow quickly, and I just hope to be a part of that.
So we talk about the way it's grown, but did you ever think you were going to see a women's program at ASU, a women's program at Grand Canyon? And not only that, but some of the talent that's coming into play for these teams is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was so not on my radar when I was younger because it just didn't exist. That was one thing that almost made my decision to go to Harvard a little easier, is I knew no matter what I was going to have to get on a plane and go somewhere for college because those options weren't available to me back when I was playing. So I think it's awesome. I think it's really cool what Lindsay and now Natalie are doing with the girls at the collegiate level, and I hope to just see that continue to expand. And I hope that it really sets the precedent for some of these other Southwestern schools so that we can have a really well-established league and hopefully eventually some D1 teams out here as well.
What do you have coming up here in the near future for to grow girls hockey? I know you've got some camps coming up, or what's coming up for you?
So we actually have a camp here at Chandler, June 19th through the 22nd. And that's actually open to both girls and boys. You know, I try not to neglect the boys too much. We're trying to grow the girls, but those boys deserve a little love too. So that's going to be for boys and girls here. I'm actually running a few camps elsewhere in the country, which I'm excited about, going back to Oregon, going back to North Dakota, a couple other places. I'm hoping to do a couple roller hockey clinics. I've converted over as a player to roller hockey, so I'm looking to do a couple roller clinics soon. And yeah, just continue to do some of the work with the Coyotes, with the Small Fries and other programs. And I barely know what's coming next
Right,
week. I just
right.
know it's going to be
You
fun.
don't have much going on,
It's going to be
so.
exciting. It's going to be great.
So when we talk about the roller part of it, you said you rolled over into it. No pun
No pun
intended on
intended.
that. But your brother is a pretty solid roller hockey player, isn't he?
He's like filthy.
Tell us about what he's been doing over the last few years at ASU.
Yeah, so he is absolutely killing it. So he played all the way up through 18 AAA. He ended at the Ice Den in Scottsdale. Unbelievable ice hockey player, but just, decided he wanted to stay home, stay local, didn't want to pursue the junior route, and he found roller hockey. And I had played when I was 5 or 6. He
Right.
had never played before in his life. So, the kid couldn't stop. He looked like Luis Mendoza out of Mighty Ducks. It was so funny. And so, anyway, he's just blossomed in that. And what's been really cool is that I came back and played for ASU last year. I got into roller hockey because of him, because I really wanted to be able to be involved in his life as much as he's been involved in mine. And it was just so fun because I was horrible when I first got out there. And he is so good and so fast. He was like the leading scorer at Nationals this year. So it was really fun to have him be my teacher for a change. It was really cool.
So, I know your family's been involved all the way up through your career, but they were especially instrumental in your trip over to the Olympics, weren't they? Tell us a little bit about that trip and who went and how that whole experience was for not only you, but for the whole family being there.
So I had a huge squad there. So I had mom, dad, brother, my best friend Aaron, who's also doing the Ironman with me.
Right.
I had my mom's best friend and her husband, and then I had both my dad's parents. So I had 8 people there in Russia watching me. And it was incredible. They could probably tell you more, but Sochi they didn't really have it together a couple months out. So there weren't hotels built.
Right.
There were
Wow.
promises of hotels being built, but they weren't officially built yet. And so my parents, I don't even know how they found this, but they ended up staying on a cruise ship that had come from Spain, I
Oh my
think,
gosh.
and docked in Sochi, and they stayed for 30 days on this cruise ship
Wow.
because they knew it was going to be there. And
Right.
so we were pretty separated for most of the games, so I can't. Their experience was so separate from mine. We saw each other for a couple minutes after every game, and then we had like one dinner together. But the coolest part for me was just every single game I would make sure I knew where they were sitting.
Right.
And I would just always look up at them and just be reminded of why I was there and how I got there. So.
She's gonna make me cry. This
I
hockey ball over here.
know.
Well, it was appropriate and kind of planned that we wanted to have you on coming up on Mother's Day weekend because we thought it would be kind of neat. So we got a special guest coming up here in a little bit. I know you know who it is, but we're not going to tell the audience just quite yet.
You're in for a treat.
But it's a neat thing to be able to talk women's hockey in Arizona, which is something that I thought was a long ways away. And it's coming faster and faster and faster. And I know it's got to do a lot with the growth of the men's program too. And I know you're close to Mr. Powers and his program, and I'm sure you're very proud to see an NCAA team being played on the men's side too, right?
Hey, I never thought I would see my Harvard guy friends in Oceanside Arena, so that was pretty special.
Awesome. Well, Lindsay, I appreciate your time as always. We're going to have a special guest coming up, so don't go away, and we'll be right back.
The Ice Den Scottsdale has always been the coolest place in the desert. Now with the addition of the Ice Den Chandler, our 2 locations hosting 5 sheets of ice make the Ice Den your home for youth, travel, and adult hockey leagues. Our nationally recognized Learn to Skate programs offer world-class instruction for skaters of all ages. Our pro shop features equipment and apparel with the top hockey and figure skating brands. 18 Degrees Express with the Chili Bean Cafe make the Ice Den the perfect place to host your next birthday party or special event. Visit us online at coyotesice.com.
All right, and welcome back to Hockey Talk with
Angel.
and the Ice Devil. We're back with a special segment here. It's Mother's Day weekend, so who better to bring on than the mother of what I call the First Lady of Arizona Hockey, and she loves that. But
Does that make me the Queen Mother?
that makes you the Queen
Okay,
Mother?
good deal.
Absolutely.
All right.
Lynn Fry, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So we're here in a place that I'm sure you're very familiar with from a
I am.
very long time
Very.
ago as well. So
Very.
tell us a little bit about your experiences having been at Chandler Ice Den.
Oh my goodness. Well, this is where it all began, and oh gosh, Lindsay was just little, and I'll tell you, it's kind of funny because she came out when they first started the organized hockey program here. I think she was 5, maybe 6, and we'd gone through the whole season of just kind of what they have called house league.
Right?
Well, I'm waiting for her one night, and somebody says, "Oh, well, she's, with her dad down in the locker room, and they're talking to somebody about travel hockey." And I said, "What?" I said, "She is not playing travel hockey, no way." And yeah. So she ended up playing travel hockey, and the rest is history.
So when she said travel hockey, did you ever think that was going to mean Sochi?
No.
So
I'm
tell
sure I
us,
didn't even know what Sochi was at that time.
tell us about that experience. She told us a little bit about it, but you tell us your side of it. You get a chance to watch your daughter play on the Olympic team of all places in Russia.
I know,
And
that's
the
crazy.
experiences that you guys had to go through. But tell us what that was like as a parent.
Oh gosh, well, when your kids are kind of growing up in the sport and you see that they're developing, and you're like, wow, there could be something here in that future. And at that point, you're really just kind of thinking about college. It's
Right.
Maybe she'll get a scholarship to college, right? But as she got older and she started developing even further, you quickly saw that there was maybe something more.
Right.
And so it was just fascinating to watch all of that kind of come into play, and how you start young and you start going through the development program and getting invited to certain camps, and so then that reality starts
Right.
to really come into view, and you're like, wow, this might really happen.
really happen.
Yeah. Now, I will say, and I'm sure Lindsay shared with you, that it's not an easy journey, and it certainly wasn't an easy journey for her.
Right.
You know, she had struggles. She had, you know, she had a lot of things that were going on that, you know, she really had to decide how badly she really wanted that.
Right.
But I think when she set her mind to it, you know.
But it's a huge commitment as a hockey mom. I'm
Yeah.
a hockey mom also, so I can
Okay.
relate.
Yeah,
But I know.
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that and how you know you made it through that, because I know that is a huge commitment. It's a huge part of it.
Well, it is, and I think, you know, I do think that that's part of where their success comes from.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, and truthfully, that's what I tell young parents all the time. And I said, I don't care what they pick. My kids picked hockey, or, you know, they had a talent for it. But you find out what that is that your kid is good at. Let them try different things, and then you jump in with both feet. And you
100%.
have to be so supportive, because they're so busy anyway. But it takes us. I mean,
Right.
it takes a village.
And a little bit of money from us too. Let's face it. We won't even go there,
Yeah,
right?
aside from dance,
Yeah.
aside from competitive dance, and maybe equestrian, this is
Yeah,
probably
it is one of the more expensive sports.
Exactly. Especially in Arizona.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, her dad was involved in. He jumped in early. He was the president of the youth organization here, the Chandler
Right.
Junior Polar Bears at the time, and he was a part of that for a long time, and really advocating not just for, you know, it wasn't just for like the mites, it was for the midgets. You know, he wanted everything to be, you know, good for all ages, not just his kids or at that age. So we jumped in more than just being parents to hockey players. We jumped in as, you know, volunteers in the program.
We're going to let you gush a little bit now, because not only is she a great hockey player, played for her country, but she's a Harvard grad. She's working on a master's at
I
ASU,
know.
right? She's going to be a triathlete here very shortly, and she's running her own business and passing the game on to others. So,
Yes.
is there anything we're missing?
Well, I didn't hear you say Iron Man, because she's training for an Iron Man
There you go.
in November. Which, I know, she really tries to get me to, you know, hey mom, why don't you run a 5K? How about joining me for a half marathon? And to that I say, I'm not a runner.
I know, right?
You know, one day when I grow up, maybe I'll be a runner, but I love watching her. And you know, what I do love is that, and I think this is true for both my kids, that the great thing is they understand the importance of staying physically fit,
Right.
and you know, and they're always pushing themselves. I mean, Lindsay is a bit of an overachiever. I mean, you know, she pushes herself to be better, to try new things, you know, and you know, I think that's kind of what's inspiring about
It's
her.
amazing.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
I mean that she just moves from one thing to the next to the next to the next.
Well, and she certainly is such a great example and role model for women in general, but for women's hockey and for all this youth. Because like we were talking with Lindsay, it's getting huge with girls now. I mean, we have teams where it's half girls and half boys, and that's amazing.
Well,
So-
she is really working hard to grow the sport for the young girls in this state. So, and that's what she always wanted to do, and what she wanted to bring home, if you will, from the Olympics was just that energy to help build the program here and give back to the community. So,
Well, she's certainly done a wonderful job.
Oh, thanks.
So,
I'm going to tell a little secret that she told me, but I understand you're a big Coyotes fan, particularly a Tyson Nash
I
fan.
love Tyson.
So let's tell this story about how Tyson Nash brought you a hockey stick. Is that what I understand?
Okay, well, the story goes. Matter of fact, no, we were at the ice stand in Scottsdale, and Lindsay was just young. They just finished some practice, and he was out there skating around, and it was right at the lockout. You know,
Right.
when that whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't even sure if it was going to be a lockout, but there was, you know, rumors to that.
Right, yep.
And so I'm like banging on the glass, Tyson, come here. And so he comes over and I said, hey, you want to give me a stick? He's like, I can't. I don't know if I'm going to get any more. So I got to hold on to it. I'm like, okay, fine. Well, you know, fast forward, you know, to like 2 years ago, last year, maybe, I don't remember which birthday, but it was kind of a mutual friend, and
Right.
their daughters, they're twin girls, they play with Tyson's daughter
Okay.
on a team, and she knew the story, the mom knew the story, and so she shared it with Tyson. He connected with Lindsay because, you know, they our Facebook buddies or whatever. And he's like, well, hey. So she surprised me, totally surprised me. Hey, we got to be up at the ice den. It was on my birthday. And I'm waiting out front. Out comes Tyson. He's got a stick, signed it. We take pictures. And literally, they had just flown in late the night before from, I don't remember where they were playing, but, you know. Anyway, I just thought that was really cool. And now when he'll make comments about, how's your mom? And then when she goes and does some of those Coyote deals for the games, and she'll do some little snippets with Todd Walsh and Tyson, and, like, hey. Yeah. But he was just a dynamic player. I just love that he was
absolutely.
so feisty, and I loved him as a player.
He's literally as feisty in the press box.
I bet. Well, he's so funny.
He hasn't changed much.
Yeah, well, he's hilarious.
There's a reason they put him down in the penalty box area, and put him
yeah.
between the benches.
Yep.
There's a reason they do that.
That
but
makes
That's kind of a
sense.
nice perk of being a hockey mom, huh?
Yes, I tell you, for sure. It for
Well,
sure is.
this being Mother's Day weekend, we thought it would be a great time to bring you on and,
I
and
appreciate that.
have a chance to visit a little bit with you and talk about your daughter and the achievements that she's already accomplished and where she's going. So
I know.
we certainly appreciate you taking the time to come out
This
today.
was
And
very much. Thank
It
you.
was great.
Yeah. And happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
happy
And to
Mother's
you
Day.
as
Thank you.
well.
Appreciate it.
not to me though. I got
Yeah, no.
All
All the
right.
moms out there.
Yes.
Lynn Fry, thank you so much for your time. We'll be right back with a special segment with our next guest, which is the owner of Behind the Mask, Mr. Randy Exelby. Hi, I'm Scott with Ice Time Hockey Southwest, and this is
I'm Angel with Ice Time Hockey Southwest.
and Angel's our VP of Marketing. We'd like to tell you a little bit about how you can bring some of your business in with our business and reach some of the greatest people in all of the Desert Southwest, hockey fans.
That's right. Just give me a call, send me a message, text, whatever. We'd love to see how we can collaborate and help each other out.
To reach Angel, you can call her at
480-559-1570.
or reach her by email at,
angel@icetimehockeysw.com.
and for all of your marketing needs, all your sponsorship needs, hockey fans are some of the greatest supporters in all of sport.
Absolutely.
All right, and welcome back to Hockey Talk with
Angel.
and the Ice Devil. As you can see, we're live in the middle of Scottsdale here at Behind the Mask with the owner, Randy Exelby. Randy, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me.
It's a great time to be here, not only because we always love coming to your store, but also because you got some big event coming up next weekend. Somebody told me something about a goalie demo day and some big sale and a great way to get you into new equipment.
Yeah, that's right. This is our 10th annual goalie day, which is on Saturday, May 20th at the Scottsdale store. And then the day before on Friday, we have our demo day where the goalies can come out and try on the ice for free all the new equipment. That's 6:30 to 7:30 at Arcadia Ice. And everything's free, and you can come out and try all the new goalie, the cool stuff for free.
Awesome.
Yeah, what vendors are you going to have there? Who's going to be, what are you going to be demoing there?
We have CCM, Bauer, Vaughn, and Brian. So it works out great. They all send company reps there, and they give us a lot of support. So it's pretty well about 99% of what the goalies wear in the NHL. Those companies will be out there.
Cool. Very nice.
So tell us a little bit about your background for those that don't know you, and I don't know who that would be unless you've been under a rock for like 30 years, but tell us about your career playing goalie.
Okay, I played college hockey. I'm originally from Toronto, and I played college hockey at Lake Superior up in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, and I was drafted by the Montreal Canadiens. Played a couple years in the farm system there. Got just a slight coffee break with them in the net, and then I had the best seat on the bench for about 30 games at the Forum. Then I got traded to Edmonton, and I had the choice of either going to Cape Breton in the American Hockey League or Phoenix in the now defunct IHL. I chose Phoenix, and I loved it, and I've been living here since.
The rest is history, huh?
The rest is history. So it was a very good decision.
For those people that don't remember those days back, they were the Phoenix Roadrunners, correct?
Yep. Yes, correct.
And you guys had some pretty stellar years and some pretty big crowds, if I remember correctly, from the old Veterans Coliseum.
Yeah, I played with them the first year, so we went through a lot of players, but the crowds were great down there on the weekends. They would pack the Coliseum, and real passionate hockey fans. I was really surprised with that. And the first year We had quite a cast of characters, including NHL coach Bruce Boudreau was on the team, and a few other guys.
So what were your thoughts, and you and I have talked about this before, what were your thoughts when the Tucson Roadrunners came into existence this year?
I thought that was fantastic because I thought it was crazy that they'd have players from Portland, Maine, and it would take them. You know, Portland's not the easiest place to get players from, and I thought it was great. I thought it was great for growing hockey. I think Tucson has been an underserved hockey market, especially the population of it. So I'm excited for that. And on a selfish kind of a personal side note, my nephew finished the year with the Tucson team, and I hope that he can play there next year. So it'll be I'll be making a few road trips down there, hopefully.
You beat me to the punch.
Yeah, go ahead,
Tell
say
us who
his
that
name.
is.
His name's Kyle Capabianco. He's a defenseman, and he's a shooter been a shooter at our goalie school for a million years, and then it was quite a surprise he got drafted by the Coyotes and such. So it's a good time.
Very cool.
So let's talk about goalie equipment. From obviously the evolution of the goalie equipment has changed a lot over the years. What's happened recently in goalie equipment?
The stuff's just lighter, and there's kind of a misconception that you come in and you see the pro NHL level stuff and it's crazy expensive, which is a fact.
Right.
But the mid to lower end stuff is really come down in price and the quality's gone up. So some of the mid-level stuff is as good as the pro stuff was 3 or 4 years ago and at less than half the cost. And then for younger goalies that are growing, there's some really good price point stuff. So you don't need to spend a fortune. So the companies have done stuff, but there's quite often sticker shock when you come in and you see the price of the high-end pads. But when you dig deeper or get somebody to help you, you'll find that you don't always need that.
So when we talk about goalies of all ages, how young do you see somebody coming in getting fit for goalie equipment?
Oh, it's 5 or 6 years old.
Right.
They get started. A lot of the rinks have kind of some loaner equipment, and I really encourage everybody to try goalie. When you're playing, just starting out, I think it's a great thing to try it so you have a better appreciation, not only as a goalie, but I think it's great as a parent to have an appreciation of how you're.
You just gave this hockey mom a heart attack.
And then you have a better appreciation when you're watching as your kids grow up and how the goalie feels. So, and they go up to all ages. We have people that come in now that are just, maybe around my age that are like, hey, it may be crazy, maybe a midlife crisis, but I want to be a goalie. So it's definitely a little harder when you start older, but they're of all ages.
Let's talk about behind the mask and the growth of it. You and I talked last year when we did our little sit down, but let's refresh everybody as to how big behind the mask has gotten for you.
We started in 1994 in Peoria, and the first store we had was 400 square feet, so it's pretty small, and the only account we had when we opened was rollerblade. So it took us years. That's when inline skating, and they were trying to make some hockey stuff, and looking back at it, they didn't make very good hockey stuff, but we didn't know any better, and it took us quite a few years to set up accounts with Bauer and CCM, and it was really, if I look back at it, I really don't know what I was thinking to open a hockey shop 2 years before the Coyotes came here and stuff. But it seems to work out, and it's our passion, and I love it, and I look forward to coming to work each day.
And so now you have 3 stores in the valley. You want to let us know where those are? Or?
3 stores, yeah. We have the one in Peoria, which is located in AZ Ice, Peoria. We have the Scottsdale store, which is at the 101 in Shea and the Pima Crossing Plaza, where there's a big PGA golf store. So this is kind of our goalie store and our flagship store, and then we have a store out in Chandler. So 3 stores, and then we do some online stuff. We also have our mobile Sprinter van that we drive around to many hockey events throughout the state. We go to Havasu, Yuma, Tucson, Prescott, Flagstaff. So we try to go to the places and introduce people to hockey and service their needs.
It wasn't long ago that I followed the Sprinter van as it moved all the way across the country. So tell us what that trip is like, going all the way up to Minnesota for that event.
Yeah, the Minnesota thing, this is the 4th year we've went to the Let's Play Hockey Show in Minnesota, which is the biggest hockey consumer event in the world. They get 50,000 people through there, and it's tied into the state tournament. So we went there, and the first year I drove up with one of my employees, and we were all excited driving up the 25 hours. We were there for a couple hours, but the 25 hours back, it knocked me out. So the last 3 years, the two younger guys have driven up, and I've flown up, and I'm much happier. So it's great. We have a booth up there. There's a few of the hockey stores there. A bunch of vendors are retail. The companies are there. And it works out great. And now people recognize the van. They come up and talk to us because they've been there. And a lot of the people from Minnesota seem to somehow have friends, family, relatives that come down here or live down here or winter down here. So it's great. And it just gave us an opportunity to kind of expand our brand. And with the companies, they see the commitment that we have, that we're the only outside of state person, that retailer that comes up there, and they see our commitment to try and grow our business and grow our brand.
Any rumor to the connection that you're the one that's dragging these Minnesota players down here to ASU and Grand Canyon? Any rumor to that you tug a few on the Sprinter van?
No, I don't think. I think if they come here, they don't have too much to worry. And I think it's awesome. I mean, every day I see the posts through social media of Grand Canyon adding their women's team, and it seems like, I don't know, maybe it's me, but it seems like they have about 40 girls signed up to commit there. Every day there's 2 or 3, and ASU. So the funny thing, we do go to places like Minnesota, people do ask us about ASU and even Grand Canyon and NAU and U of A. So it's we're really on the hockey map across the country now, which is great. And it's not just because of Austin Matthews. That obviously was a phenomenal story, but there's a lot of other pieces of the puzzle.
Exactly. We talked goalie equipment. Let's also touch a little bit about roller hockey, because I know that's getting really big in the area, and I know you guys get out to Havasu and different places for roller hockey. So any similarities between roller hockey equipment and ice hockey equipment?
Yeah, everything can be transferred, obviously, other than the skates. Most inline hockey players, they don't wear shoulder pads, and they either wear a roller hockey girdle or just a long pant. But it's great, and I strongly encourage everybody to play inline hockey. It's a fun thing. It's maybe more creative. You try stuff that you wouldn't try on ice. It's more of a control thing, and I think it's a great, even for the ice hockey guys, to offset it. It's like everybody says you need to try different sports and that. Well, I look at it as almost a different sport while being the same sport still. Right. So it's a lot of fun, and it's great to see the passion in those communities, because you look Havasu and Tucson, or Havasu and Yuma, they don't have an ice rink.
Right.
So the passion for the community to support, and it's almost something we could take a lesson up here on how it's done. Excuse me.
So tell me a little bit about the goalie day. Let's get back to the specifics again. We're back at Arcadia on Friday night from 6:30 to 7:30. That's a chance to really get acquainted with the new equipment, get acquainted with the new brands, basically, right? With the reps.
Yep. So it's at 6:30, but I suggest if the goalies are going to come to get there around 5, they can talk to the company reps, and they can get all tips. They can get fit right. They can kind of lay out a map of what gear they want to try. And we have shooters on the ice there to facilitate that, and they can just try on the stuff, and it's free. They just need to bring and wear full equipment. We got some swag, so if you try on CCM stuff, you get a CCM hat, etc. So it's cool, and the companies have taken the time and believe in us, and they've sent some important people down that are goalie experts. We have a guy from New Hampshire with Bauer. We have somebody from Minnesota with CCM. So they're sending people down, which I think is awesome.
That's amazing.
Well, and for people that don't know, we're going to be out there the full hour, and given a chance to run a little publicity for you and let people know that there's once you've been there, you can come back over here on Saturday and actually make those purchases, right?
Yeah, and then Saturday we have a bunch of sales stuff and in-store specials. So it's a great event. We expect over 100 goalies to show up, which the companies, when they had first come here, they were literally amazed. They just, I've been asked, did any goalie in Arizona not come? So it's really funny that the respect in the industry that we've gotten, because now, like I said, they're looking at Arizona a little different, and when they actually come here and see what's going on, they're really supportive.
Well, Randy, I would be remiss to let you know that Lindsay Fry was on just before you on this show. we taped that segment on Tuesday, so you followed her up. And I know when we talked about roller hockey, her brother Wes had an awesome national tournament, and I know they give a lot of credit to you guys too for being able to provide them and help them out with the program. So
Yeah, and the funny thing with Lindsay, so Lindsay and Wes, about 3 years ago, they came out and were shooters at our demo day.
Right.
And then a couple years ago, and it's a great story now, is Craig Cunningham came out and shot. So we've had some different people. We're always trying to see if we can get in, some people to come out and shoot. So, the goalies that came a couple years ago, Craig Cunningham was shooting. Austin Matthews has been out there and shot a few years ago. So,
Got
it's
anybody
worked out pretty
important
good.
lined up this year?
We're
that we know
trying.
of?
We're trying, but we can't say anything because of
course
commitments.
not.
But we're trying. We are trying.
nice job, Angel, digging the media side of it.
yeah.
She has to ask the
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
Randy, we certainly thank you for your time, and thank you for allowing us to come out into your store and showing us all the new goalie equipment. We encourage everybody to come on out and take advantage of next Friday and next Saturday.
Yeah, and I appreciate Scott and Angel, all the good stuff you guys and the coverage you do. I follow it, and I think it's awesome. So I appreciate what you two are doing as well.
Thank you.
All right, and we'll be right back with our conclusion of this week's show. All right, well, we're back with Hockey Talk with
Angel.
and the Ice Devil, and another episode in the books.
Yes.
Gets a little better every time, I gotta say.
It gets better every time, and how special is it on this Mother's Day weekend coming up to have a hockey mom on our show?
Yeah, isn't it great?
Yeah.
I figured that would be a great way to kick off Mother's Day weekend, and who better than to start off with Lynn Fry, who's the mother of course, Lindsay Fry, our Olympic medalist.
Yes.
And Harvard grad.
Absolutely.
Soon to be an ASU grad.
Yeah.
So it all ties in, right?
Yep, it sure does, and she's been an amazing hockey mom. Obviously, look what she produced, right?
Exactly. So it was great to have both Lindsay and Lynn on. Also nice to have Randy Exelby on. Randy does an awful lot for hockey, and I can remember back when he opened that very first store right here in Chandler.
Yes. Randy's amazing, obviously. Everybody knows Randy. He's an amazing part of hockey in our community. So
Really want to thank him for allowing us to come out and shoot some videos and the actual interview in his store up in Scottsdale.
Yes.
It was a fantastic opportunity to see not only Randy, but to see what he's got in store for the demo day coming up next Friday, which we'll of course be at.
Yep, those goalies, we're going to be out there filming those goalies on the demo day. So,
We also want to thank some special guests that we had in studio tonight with the Fries, but also let's talk a little bit about right where we're at, the Ice Den, and the
Yes.
opportunity that they gave us tonight to come on in and record this.
yeah, it's amazing. We're here in the 18 Degrees restaurant recording this, and we're so appreciative. What a great place to record. What a great place to come and watch hockey.
It's actually all about hockey. You got the rink right in front of us. You got the TVs around us. They got NHL hockey going on. They have some World Championship hockey going on. So
Yes.
they got a little bit of everything here. And as you look, you see the youngsters moving through the building.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
is really a non-stop, year-round type place, isn't it?
Absolutely. Food and hockey. What else could you ask for, right?
Exactly. Well, without further ado, tell us a little bit about what we got going on next week when we make our monthly trip up to Vegas.
We are going to be back at Brando's next week, interviewing.
We have Z-Con.
Z-Con is coming back,
And we're also going to bring in Anthony Vigneri Greener, the head coach of UNLV. Also going to spend the time with what I call the Vegas hockey guru, Mr. Dana Lane.
Mr. Dana Lane. Yes,
So
absolutely.
it'll be a lot of fun, and there may be a special guest or two that we're working on to sneak into the show as well. So you
Most
won't want to miss
likely.
episode number 5.
That's right.
So that tonight is
It's a wrap.
all right. We'll be back next week with more hockey talk with Angel and the Ice Devil.